يفنى الكل ويبقى هو ليس الباقي إلا هو. الله 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 ما لي رب إلا هو.
Indeed, it is a day of greatness, it is a day of blessing, it is a day of sacrifice. It is a day of immense barakat, when the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends in abundance upon the believers throughout the universe. It is a day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested His beloved Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam and Nabi Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. A test which to any other man would be very difficult. To any other man would be very difficult, but a test which Allah made simple upon Hazrat Ibrahim and Hazrat Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salam because of the strength of their iman. Before continuing any further, let us once recite the Rubi Pak altogether. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammadin wa ashabihi wa barik wa sallim salatu wa salamun alayhi ya Sayyidi ya Sanadi ya Habibi ya Tabibi ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It is very beautifully said, this entire incident of Bakr Eid, or Eid al-Duha, or the sacrifice, has been beautifully mentioned. It has been gathered into a beautiful set of couplets, of stanzas, poetic stanzas, and I'm going to read it to you very briefly, and then we can continue from there. The poet says, Ay Musalman, sun ye nukta dars-e Qur'ani mein hai. Ay Musalman, sun ye nukta dars-e Qur'ani mein hai. अज़मत इस्लाम और मुस्लिम सिर्फ कुर्बानी में है. अज़मत इस्लाम और मुस्लिम सिर्फ कुर्बानी में है. सआदतमंद बेटा झुक गया. सआदतमंद बेटा झुक गया फरमाने बारी पर. सआदतमंद बेटा झुक गया फरमाने बारी पर. ज़मीन व आसमां हैरान उस ताअत गुजारी पर. ज़मीन व आसमां हैरान उस ताअत गुजारी पर. ये फैज़ाने नज़र था या कि मकतब की करामत थी. ये फैज़ाने नज़र था या कि मकतब की करामत थी. सिखाए किसने इस्माईल को आदाब फर्जंदी. सिखाया किसने इस्माईल को आदाब फर्जंदी. This was it's the entire incident that happened on that day gathered into a goblet for us to understand that sacrifice is a very, very, very great ni'mah, and it is a blessing, and the one who is patient when Allah asks for a sacrifice is truly blessed. I'm going to today in 10 minutes try my best to remind myself and you about the history of this day. Something that we tend to forget. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command, as we all know that Allah commanded Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam to sacrifice his son Nabi Ismail for the pleasure of Allah. Allah commanded him to sacrifice his son. And we look into our own lives and then we try to think, how much of sacrifices do we make for the pleasure of Allah? How much of Qurbani do we give for the pleasure of Allah? On this day we are asked to make Qurbani of an animal, which is the permissible animals which have been regarded worthy of Qurbani. I'm not going to go into the lengthy discussion. Goats, sheep, cows, camels, etc. And even this, some of us, Allah gives us so much of dawlat, and we spend thousands of rands and everything else, but for Qurbani we find it difficult to put our hands into our pockets. We are being asked to just put our hands into the wealth which Allah gave us. Which Allah gave us. But we find it very difficult to do this. Some people do. Except for those, mashallah, most of you do it, I am sure, that you spend for this. But there are those who find it very difficult. Yet they would spend in dunya for everything else. Allah is not asking you to sacrifice your son. Allah is not asking, what would have been happened if this hukum was followed? what would have been this hal? There would have been none of us in the masjid. There would have been none of us in the masjid because all the males would have been gone. But this is Allah's mercy. Allah is demanding and commanding of us that we should make a sacrifice of an animal, but even then we take it so lightly. We take it very lightly. We need to pay attention and do things for the pleasure of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It is mentioned in the narrations that on the night of the 8th of Zulhijjah, on the eve of the 8th of Zulhijjah, some people say that there is no connection between Hajj and there is no connection between Qurbani. There are two separate entities. Yeah, they are different means of ibadah, but they are strongly connected. They are both very strongly connected. Because on the night of the eve, on the eve of the 8th of Zulhijjah, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam dreamt that a Farishta, an angel, was announcing to him that make a sacrifice for Allah. Angel announced in dream to Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, do a Qurbani for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So on that morning when Ibrahim alayhi salam woke up, what did he do? He didn't make one Qurbani. He was commanded to make Qurbani for Allah. The figure wasn't set. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he woke up on the morning after the eve of the 8th of Zulhijjah, what did he do? He sacrificed 100 camels. How many camels? 100 camels Ibrahim alayhi salam sacrificed for the pleasure of Allah. Then on the eve of the 9th of Zulhijjah, on the eve of the 9th of Zulhijjah, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam again dreamt the angel announcing to him, make sacrifice for the pleasure of Allah, by the command of Allah. So Ibrahim alayhi salam got up in the morning and he made 200 camels. First day, how many he made? 100. Second day he got up, he made 200 Qurbani. 200 animals on the 9th of Dhul-Hijjah. Again he went to sleep on the eve of the 10th. Obviously you know the eves come before the days for us. So he went to sleep on the eve of the 10th. And again the command is given, and again the announcement is made. That, O Ibrahim, make a sacrifice for Allah. So when Ibrahim alayhi salam woke in the morning, he thought and he said, or rather in the dream he said, O Allah, what sacrifice do you command of me? What should I do? I have sacrificed 100, then 200. O Allah, this still is not what pleases you truly. What do you will from me? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded or sent wahi upon Ibrahim alayhi salam. Because that which happens in the dream of a Nabi is also wahi. Sent revelation upon him, O Ibrahim, you have to sacrifice what is most beloved to you on this earth. You have to sacrifice what is most beloved to you on the earth. When this hukum came to Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, then Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam immediately knew that this hukum is for me to sacrifice Ismail alayhi salam. This hukum is for me to sacrifice Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam. Now can you understand what would have been the condition of a father when he is commanded to sacrifice his son? But this restlessness or the anxiety was not found in Ibrahim alayhi salam. Nothing. Because it was the hukum of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had commanded. Now there are two riwayats, or many, but rather the two authentic riwayats that Ibrahim alayhi salam, Ismail alayhi salam, when Ibrahim alayhi salam commanded for him to be made zibah, he was, when Allah commanded, he was either 7 years old or 13 years old. He was either 7 years old or 13 years old. These are the most authentic narrations regarding the age at that time. Now imagine, let's say 7 or let's say 13 years. Okay? But at that time to go and sacrifice your son, how difficult it will be. A child who you've grown up for that much of time. A child who you've spent so much of time with. Ask parents who've lost their children. Ask the parents who lost their children how difficult it is to lose a child. But yet here you're not just going to lose, you have to make Qurbani. So Hazrat Ibrahim ala Nabiyina alayhi salatu wasalam, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he accepted this. He accepted this and he went to the mother of Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, Hazrat Hajara radiallahu anha. He said that today your son Ismail has been given an invitation from the greatest of kings. He has been given a truly royal invitation. And I'm going to take him with. So the mother said, what a khush khabri. What a khush khabri. So what she said, look at this mother. She doesn't know the reality as yet. She says, okay, take him. But let me get him to bathe and put new clothes for him. Let me get him to bathe and put new clothes for him. Okay? This also teaches us that on the day of the sacrifice, you should put good clothes. You should dress properly also. Okay? So she put good clothes for him and she bathed him, let him take a bath and gave him good clothes. And then Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, what he did? He hid a rope and a knife in his sleeves. In his sleeve he concealed the knife and he concealed the rope because he was going to fulfill the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And on the 10th of Zulhijjah, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam went from Makkah to Mina. That is why people go from Makkah to Mina. Now how this is not connected to Hajj? Those who are saying Qurbani is not connected to Hajj, how is it not connected to Hajj? Obviously it's connected. Okay? So Ibrahim alayhi salam went to Mina on the 10th of Zulhijjah. And when he went to Mina to sacrifice Hazrat Ismail Islam, Shaitan was evicted. Shaitan was very stressed because Shaitan knew that if he fulfills this, then it is a great reward. He has fulfilled the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so Shaitan wanted to stop him. So what Shaitan did? I want you to listen carefully, very quickly. I may take 5 or 6 minutes more of your time. People are still coming. What Shaitan did? Shaitan went in the form of an old man. He didn't go to anybody, he went first to a mother. This is what Shaitan does. He tries to work on the minds of women first. This is what Shaitan does. So he went to Hazrat Hajara radiallahu anha in the form of an old man. And he said to her, do you know where your husband has taken your son? She said, yes, he has taken him for a great invite. He has been invited by a friend, in her understanding, of my husband. And yet, yes, Ibrahim is the Khalil. He is the friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning the beloved, one of the beloveds of Allah. Said that he has been taken by my husband for a royal invite, for a very blessed invite. He said, no. Your son has not been taken for any invite. Your husband has taken your son to make him Qurbani. Ibrahim has taken Ismail so that he may sacrifice him. Hazrat Hajara radiallahu anhu said, is there any father with such compassion and such love like Ibrahim that will go to sacrifice his own son? Shaitan said, you know why he's doing it? Because it is the command of Allah. You know why he's doing it? Because Allah Ta'ala has commanded. Allah Ta'ala has told him that he should sacrifice his son. You know what Hazrat Hajara answered? Subhanallah. Say Subhanallah. You know what she answered? She said, you seem to be Shaitan. What did she say? You seem to be Shaitan and you have come to mislead me. She said, if this was the command and is the command of Allah, then what is one Ismail? I will sacrifice 1,000 Ismails one at a time for the pleasure of Allah. Yet Hazrat Hajara got Hazrat Ismail when she had already reached such an old age. She said that I will sacrifice 1,000 Ismails one after the other for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but I will not allow the command of Allah to be stopped. The command will be fulfilled. Now imagine the condition of that mother, she knows where her son is going. But look at her yaqeen. She did not get told by her husband that your husband is going to fulfill the command of Allah. Shaitan is saying. But she's telling Shaitan that if what you are saying is true, then I will sacrifice 1,000 sons' lives. It is nothing. It is nothing for me. So Shaitan realized he has failed. So what does he do? He goes and he confronts Ismail alayhi salam, why the father is taking him. He says to him, do you know where you are going? So he gave the same answer as his mother. He said, yeah, I am going for a great invite. My father is taking me for a great invite. He said, no. Your father is taking you to make you Qurbani. He said, how is it possible? A compassionate man like my father will go and cut my throat. He said, Allah Ta'ala has commanded. He said, you will find me forbearing. He said, you will find me sabir. That if Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has given this command, then I surrender to the will of Allah. I surrender to the will of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Shaitan, then what he decided? He said, I failed by Hazrat Hajra. I failed by Hazrat Ismail. Now let me go direct to Ibrahim. So he went to Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam and said to Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, he said, how can you sacrifice your son based on a mere dream? How can you sacrifice your son based on a mere dream? And in this riwayat it stated that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that when Ibrahim, when Shaitan tried to do this, to change the mind of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, subhanallah, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, then Shaitan, when he entered, when Ibrahim went to the valley of Mina, at that time, Shaitan, where today is the Jamra Aqaba. You hit the Shaitan, the Jamra Aqaba, the first one. So, there Shaitan tried to divert the mind of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. So you know what Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam did? He took 7 pebbles. What he did, he took 7 stones and he pelted Shaitan. Every time we pelt, you know why we pelted him, we knew it. But he took the 7 stones and he pelted Shaitan. You hitting the pillar. Where's Shaitan? Why are you hitting? Where's Shaitan? Can you see Shaitan? But he pelted. And you know, can you imagine what power must have been in that hand of Ibrahim alayhi salam? Because the riwayat says that when he pelted Shaitan with 7 pebbles, Shaitan sunk into the ground. Because of the force of pebbles hitting him. It wasn't the pebble, it was the hand that was throwing the pebble. It wasn't the pebble, it was the hand that was throwing the pebble. And if this was the strength of the hand of Ibrahim alayhi salam, then what must be the strength of the hand of Muhammadur Rasulullah? What must be the strength of the hand of the beloved Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? So I want you to keep the strength in your mind very quickly. Keep the strength in your mind. 7 pebbles hit Shaitan, it caused Shaitan to sink. Keep the strength in your mind. At Jamra Aqaba. Then when you see the Jamra Thaniya, right? There again Shaitan tried. Again Ibrahim alayhi salam pelted him 7 times, he sunk into the ground again. Then he went to the Jamra Aqaba, where the Jamra Aqaba is today. He went there and again he tried, and again 7 times Shaitan was pelted by Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, and Shaitan sunk into the ground, and this action became so beloved to Allah. This action of Ibrahim alayhi salam became so beloved to Allah that the believers have been commanded until Qiyamah strike the rocks for Ibrahim alayhi salam to stop Shaitan. Even this part, for those who say that you should not do that which is commanded, you should not do that and go towards those who are ghairullah, those who are not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibrahim alayhi salam is definitely ghairullah. But every act of Qurbani and every act of Hajj is that which is the memory and the yaad of one who is ghairullah. From the beginning to the end. So he struck 7 times and nothing. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam's mind did not defect one move, one moment. What did Ibrahim alayhi salam do? He then told us in his mind and he said, Allah has commanded me. Allah has commanded me this. I'm being brief because time is limited. And Ibrahim Ismail alayhi salam, as it is mentioned in the Holy Quran, that he says, Inshallah, you will find me to be most patient, most forbearing. But he said, oh my father, I have 3 conditions. He said, the conditions are that before you make me zubah, tie my hands and tie my legs. Tie my hands and legs, so when you are cutting me and I move around, you don't feel pain and sorrow for me. He said, secondly, turn my face away from you. Turn my face away from you. Oh Ibrahim, my beloved father, you have a heart of compassion. You have a heart of compassion in your chest. Turn me away and blindfold yourself. So that when you are making zabah, it does not come in your mind that you should divert from the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third thing after you have made the zabah, don't tell my mother about how it was done and what happened. Don't tell my mother about how it was done, what happened. Now I want you to keep in mind the strength of Ibrahim alayhi salam, that he strikes the pebbles and Shaitan sinks into the earth. That same Ibrahim alayhi salam now lies his sound onto the ground. He ties his hands and his legs. He ties his hands and his legs. And thereafter, he takes this absolutely sharp knife, places it such as he wished, and then he says the name of Allah and he runs the knife. He runs the knife, but he feels that the knife will not cut. The knife is now refusing to cut. So he picks up think about the strength of that hand. And that hand is cutting and the knife is not doing anything. And again the second time he puts more force. He puts more strength and he tries to cut again. And the knife does not cut. He realizes that nothing's happening because he can feel it's not doing anything. Although he cannot see at that time, directly, physically. He is not seeing because he has been blindfolded. He sees that the knife is not cutting the second time. He becomes upset and he strikes the knife onto a rock. He strikes the knife onto a rock and the rock splits into 2 pieces. The rock splits into 2 pieces, but the throat of Ismail will not be touched. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, in his spiritual jalal, he looks at the knife, he directs himself, his attention to the knife, and he says that what is it that you will not cut? And by the will of Allah, the knife responds. He says that when you were put into the fire of Namrud, then one command came. One command for the fire, or the scholar said, the knife would have said, that the fire of Namrud, one command came, Ya nar, kuni bardan wa salam ala Ibrahim. Oh fire, become cool one time upon Ibrahim. Oh Ibrahim, here the command is 70 times from Allah, don't cut the throat of Ismail. Don't cut the throat of Ismail. And the third time, Hazrat Ibrahim al-Islam, he says, still this is the command of my Rabb. He picks up the knife again. And when he's about to cut, then from the heights of heavens, Allah commands Jibreel al-Salam, take a heavenly ram and place it before Ibrahim. His Qurbani is Kabul. Take it and place it before Ibrahim al-Salam. His Qurbani is Kabul. And a heavenly ram is brought from the skies and placed. And Hazrat Ismail al-Salam is moved. And Jibreel al-Salam opens his hands and lays for Allah, says, Oh Jibreel, untie him. Untie him and put him aside. And Hazrat Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam runs the knife, and the knife cuts through like butter. And in his mind, he cuts through, and then he picks up the blindfold to look at the condition of his son. And when he looks in front, what does he see? That there is a ram in front. What is there? A ram in front. And beside him is standing Sayyidina Ismail alayhi with a huge smile. And when he turns and looks at Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hazrat Jibreel Amin alayhi salatu wasalam says, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And Hazrat Ismail says, La ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. And Ibrahim says, Walillahi alhamd. That is why we say the takbir, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah wallahu akbar. Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. For this is the takbir of Jibreel alayhi salam. This is the takbir of Ismail alayhi salam. And this is the takbir of Ibrahim alayhi salam. That is why people ask today, when you people get emotional, when you get spiritually charged, you call out the takbir. Why do you do that? We say we learn the lesson from the quote of Ibrahim alayhi salam. That Jibreel alayhi salam started with the takbir of Allahu Akbar. So this day of Eid is a day of great sacrifice. It is a day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. We too are tested in our lives. Today people are tested with their iman, but people lose their iman so quickly. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, there will come a time when to hold on to your iman will be like holding on to burning coals. In other words, before you know it, you will drop your iman. Look at the sacrifices that the Anbiya Ikram were prepared to make. Look at the sacrifices that the Ahlul Bayt of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam were prepared to make. Look at the sacrifice that everybody made. But we are feeling it difficult to sacrifice our dunyawi halat for the sake of deen. We are feeling it difficult to sacrifice our friendships for the sake of deen. You must remember, Iman is everything. Iman is everything. Without Iman, we are nothing. Without Iman, we would not have got today. Without Iman, we would have not got anything. Do not associate with those who try to divert you from good. They are shaitan. Do not associate with those who try to divert you from the remembrance of their beloveds. Because they are shaitan. For shaitan tried to divert Hazrat Ibrahim al-Islam and he failed. He tried to divert Hazrat Ismail al-Islam, he failed. He tried to divert Hazrat Hazrat, he failed. We should follow on their Naqsh Qadam. We follow on their Naqsh Qadam. We should follow what the Nabi commanded. And we should follow in the Naqsh Qadam of the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is why Allah Hazrat Alimul Barakat Imam Ahl Sunnah radiyallahu anhu so beautifully said, कि तेरे गुलामों का नक्शे कदम है राह खुदा, तेरे गुलामों का नक्शे कदम है राह खुदा, वो क्या बहक सके जो ये सुराग लेके चले. Allah bless us on this day of Eid. Allah shower from us the blessings of this day of Eid.